Do I look intense?
Well, yes.
And I look like I'm in a mess.
What's happening?
We're on the air. The air is on.
Oh crap.
Did you know that?
Is this good?
No.
Is this better? Listen, just so you know, and Adam is going to complain about this.
Oh, you don't have the headset on.
Exactly. So Adam can suck it because this is all I got. I rode my bike to work today and did not have room to bring home a headset, and I forgot. In that order.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Hey, JJ, he jumps in. He says, "Hey, he's on vacation."
So he's having the best time of all of us. Unless you're having a really good time working.
I'm not having a good time working. No.
Okay.
No.
Do I sound all right?
You sound fine.
Okay, well then, Adam, forget it. This is as good as it gets for tonight. I know he's going to say something. I've been sitting here trying different headsets. So I have my Rig headset,
which
I really like. This is the headset I use with my Xbox. And the problem is it wasn't charged, and I thought it was. I think it would work, but we're not going to know tonight. So I have a different computer, and the problem with the new Macs.
Didn't you have a new computer last time also?
I did, but no. The last time I had to use my old computer. And so I thought I have everything that I need to make it work this time. I have the dongles that work with USB because the Macs are all USB-C. There are no
USB I've got one of those at work.
Yeah. So I have all USB-C ports, and so I had to get adapters. And so I have them, and they're here, and they work fine. That's what the camera and microphone are going through. But I don't have enough to make like an old Turtle Beach headset. I can't make it work because I don't have enough inputs. Technology, future, right?
Yeah, it's super nice that you don't have to flip like the USB over one way and then realize that it's going in the wrong way, and you flip it the other way and you say, "Oh no, I had it right the first time," and then you put it back the other way.
Yeah,
that's real nice, but at the same time, it's kind of annoying too that nothing works unless you have a dongle.
Exactly. And so until they start making everything USB-C, I'm in this, middle area here. I almost said middleware. I don't know what that would have meant, but nothing I can do. So even the dongle for the Rig headset is, it's USB-C, whatever that one is.
That's regular old USB.
Regular old USB. And the problem is I didn't get it to work. So here you are talking to me through the mic on the Mac.
That sounds fine.
For the price you pay for a Mac, it should sound fine.
For the price you pay for Short Attention Gamer and the frequency you get Short Attention Gamer, it's fine. No problems.
Yeah, exactly. We come around about as often as Incredibles movies. So every 13 years we show up.
Whoa, that's a little no.
No, we show up more than that.
A little bit more. It's only been May 1st was the last time we did this, so it's only been like 2 months.
Every 2 months.
Well, so we wanted to do one. What was it? 2 weeks ago.
Last week we did during the last week was E3.
Yeah, last week was E3, but so I said, hey, let's do a show 2 weeks ago. And you said, sure, that sounds great. And then I said, guess what? I have a visitor. I can't do it. And then you're like, oh, okay. How about this other day? I said, unfortunately, it was the only day I could do it that week. And then you said, well, maybe it'd be better because next week's E3. And I didn't realize it was E3.
Yeah.
And then you had a thing last week, and I had a sickness that I'm still kind of getting over. I have a little nose, little chest thing.
Was getting my daughter a car last week, and so now we have her car, and now she will turn 16 Wednesday, and thinks she's going to be driving. We'll see how that goes.
What kind of ride?
We got her a Nissan Rogue, which I think will be, I thought back to my car. My daughter's car is 4 years old because my wife was adamant that she has something safe, and I'm all for that. And then I thought back to my car and I turned 16 in 1985, and I had a 68 Chevy Nova. So I realized that my car was almost 20 years old by the time that I finally got my grandma's car. My daughter has a much nicer car, and
what year is the Rogue?
hers is a 2014, so it's only 4 years old, with about 80,000 miles on it. So she'll turn 16 on Wednesday, and we'll take her for her test. She's been doing driver's education this summer at school, so she does fine. She's a good driver. I think she'll be just fine when she finally gets her license. So that's what we were doing last week. That's why I couldn't do the show. Was it last Tuesday?
Yeah, it was last Tuesday. Yeah.
So I had to bow out, but here we are.
Yeah, we're finally here, and you know what? My son, I don't think all the years that we've been talking, my son actually has a birthday on Thursday. So our children have one day apart. That's nice. One day and 10 years.
Yeah, I was going to say probably several years. Is he going to be 6?
He will add. Well, I'm sorry, 9 years. 7.
Okay. Yeah. So, and then something to look forward to. 16. So,
yeah.
And my son was like, when he turned 16, he's like, 16, whatever. And he passed his test. He was fine, but it wasn't a big deal for a girl, or at least for my daughter. It seems like it's a big deal, meaning that she wanted to start celebrating in early June. And celebrate all through June until we get into July. So my wife is making 2 cakes. I don't know why, because there's only like 4 or 5 people coming over. But my daughter gave her 2 different cakes that she liked. Then we're taking 3 of her friends to dinner, which I don't know why we've got to do that. Why not? One of her friends' dads owns the majority of McDonald's in the area. So I said, let's go there. We know she's going to get free meals. And she'll probably get you free meals. So the rest of us are, I have to pay for myself, my wife, and 2 other.
And you simply restrict it to the dollar menu.
Exactly. Home free. But that's a no-go. So we have to go to a nice restaurant, whatever that means.
Yeah, we're still in the planning phases for my son's birthday party, and we're probably going to do. He enjoyed rock climbing when we brought my older daughter to a party there, so we're probably going to do a little rock climbing.
That sounds fun. That sounds a lot more fun than what I'm going to do with my daughter.
It's a lot more expensive though than McDonald's. So
well, the restaurant will probably be pretty expensive, and I win the expense award because I just bought a damn car.
That's true.
So. You got at least a few years before you have to worry about that, right?
I bought a car for myself. That doesn't count though.
No, it's not the same as your first child. The first child that drives. Then you're like, and then they want to go out, and you're like, where should they drive? Can they just drive down the road and back? Is that good enough? Because I'm a little nervous about them driving by themselves.
I want I don't know how I'm going to be able to. Erin is she's 12 now, so. That's pretty close. It's 4 years.
4 years. It'll be right there before you know it.
Yeah, she's already looking at the new car I just got, and she's like, "I'm going to be driving that soon." I'm like,
"Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about that, girl."
Tell her we got a '68 Nova with her name on it. It's all hers. It only has 300,000 miles on it.
You got to put oil in it every single time you drive it.
Exactly, but it's been well taken care of. Been gently loved. What did you get? What did you end up getting?
I got a Mazda 6.
Oh, that's nice too.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I went through this whole range of emotion when I was purchasing my car, and I was like, all right, you know what? I drive 60 miles a day, 30 to work, 30 home from work. So I got to have something that's good for fuel economy.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking at plug-in electric hybrids and hybrid cars and everything that can get great gas mileage. And then I said, you know what? I'm 40. I'm going to get something that I want to have. I want to drive. It's fun to drive. Yeah. So
exactly.
So now I'm getting 28. 28 miles to a gallon.
I'm about to turn 50, and I said, I want something that I can ride to work. And we have a trail system. I told you guys about this. I talked about it, I think, last time. But I've been doing it, I think, at least 2 times a week. I ride my new bike, and I'm flying past people. They get pissed off when they see me go by, especially guys with. So we have this trail system, and I'll go by guys on road bikes that obviously that's what they do for exercise all day long. And you can average, if you're really pushing it without electrical assist, you can average maybe 16 miles an hour, maybe 17 on flats. I'm averaging 24.
Nice.
So yeah, so I'm flying past these guys, and I got a little bell, and I'm like, ding, I give them a thumbs up, and they do not wave back.
No.
I don't know why. I can get to work in 20 minutes, which is how long it takes me in my car to get to work without traffic.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So I have enjoyed it. I did it today, as a matter of fact. It's stress. It relieves a lot of my driving stress. So electric bike for the win.
Awesome.
Yeah. That was my midlife crisis, you know, a sports car. I got an electric bike. I'm crazy that way.
Good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
I like it.
I like your car choice too.
Hey, so I don't need surgery on my knee, so that's good.
Congratulations. That's great. Is physical therapy?
It's supposed to be. I went today for an orthopedic appointment, and he's like, "Yeah, there's nothing I can fix there with surgery, so all you got to do is go to a physical therapist."
That's awesome.
I said, "That's great," except now that means that I may have been able to been running all this time, and
well, but it's time. It's good to take a little time off and let it kind of heal. And do you want to see my wife? She's a physical therapist. Set that up. It's
do a Google Live.
Yes.
Therapist.
She'll check you out. She'll get you going. She'll take care of you. She does home health physical therapy, but she would. It's
practically home health.
That's kind of the way I look at it. It is the cheapest of home health. She doesn't have to come there, and you don't have to come here. So it's win-win.
Yeah, yeah. So that's good. And we had E3, so that was good too.
I enjoyed parts of it. There were parts of it. Yeah. Yeah, I know that you have things you want to say about it, and so I always get disappointed when it's over because I enjoy it so much, and I think I build it up so much in my head that amazing things are going to happen, and then it's over, and I'm like, oh, well, okay. I don't know if I'm disappointed that it's over, or that I'm disappointed that I didn't see something that just blew my mind.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure what's happening there. I have opinions.
I also have. Opinions are easy to have.
I'll let you start. I don't know how you want to talk about it. If you want to talk about it based on press conferences,
I don't know. I think we'll just. I don't know. So the biggest thing I have to take away from it is Sony's press conference was weird this year.
Right. I am glad. Yes, I agree completely. I was feeling like I was completely out in left field when I heard other people talk about how much they liked it, and I couldn't figure out why. I made some comments on Twitter about it, and I had some private conversations with Laffigan. He listens to our show, and he made some good points that, you know, maybe Sony was, they wanted to focus more specifically on 4 games. They talked about that early on, that's what they wanted to do. And I get that. But the thing that I struggled with was the pacing.
Yes, the pacing was definitely odd.
Yeah.
And the fact that they did the Last of Us thing where they were all in this like recreation of one of the environments for Last of Us 2. And then it was great that they had that dude there playing the music for everybody.
What was it? I don't know if it was. I think it would have been better if this is what I think they should have done. Start the press conference, let him play the music, count down the press conference while he's playing the music, and fade to The Last of Us 2. rather than highlighting something that everybody's like, what is happening? What is this?
Yeah.
Because it was so discordant with what happened next with the actual gameplay, or it wasn't gameplay, with the actual showing of the game. Well, I guess there was
Well, it was gameplay.
Yeah.
They had some stuff in there.
Yeah. Well, and so it was so discordant with that I was still trying to process what I just watched. So, I mean, I think that they completely lost a chunk of their audience who was trying to figure out what was going on. So
yeah, I mean, like the Last of Us demo that they showed looked great.
It did.
I think that was totally awesome. But then like after that was over, they're like, all right, we're gonna go talk to a panel of 4 people while we migrate everyone into another room.
I'm sorry about that. Once in a while, this cat just gets I need to just put it away next time. I apologize, people at home.
I didn't notice. I don't think anybody else did either.
Well, when you when you go back and watch what you just recorded, you'll notice. But I was confused because I thought that I thought what had happened was I had missed part of the press conference early, and that they had been showing press conference and that it was over and they were cutting to the part where they talk about the things.
Oh, yeah. Like you're like, oh, I'm an hour off. That must have been like their big reveal at the end was Last of Us.
That's what I thought. I was so confused. And then I was watching the Sony stream on Twitch and it just died. The Sony stream just shut down. And that was the point where they were getting ready to switch from the panel to the next reveal. And I had to switch. I'm trying to remember whose stream I switched to. I think it was E3's stream. So I switched from Sony Direct stream to the E3 stream, but it was frustrating. That was the only one of all of the press conferences I watched. And this is the first year where I think I saw every single press conference. But that's the only one that died.
Yeah, I didn't get to see EA's. I didn't get to see Microsoft's. Because Microsoft was at it was like 4:00 on a Sunday for me. Yeah. That's kind of
It was perfect for me. It was 3:00, and usually at 3:00, for me the best time
at 3:00. So you just skipped your nap that day, and
I did. The best time for me to play games these days is Saturdays and Sundays from about 3 to 5. That's my gaming time, because I don't always get to during the week, but I always get to play from 3 to 5 before dinner time. So that was perfect because my son came down and the two of us got to sit and watch the Microsoft press conference, and it was a good one. I really liked that press conference.
I would have liked to also watch it with my kids just to say, hey, this is something that is cool. I like watching this stuff, but because a lot of it, I mean, they had like Gears of War for Microsoft, so it's not.
The press conferences are still fairly
mature rated.
I'd still rate them M. Yeah. So your kids need to be in their teens of some sort before you feel comfortable letting them watch. Cameron this year, he and his friends. So he's at that point where all his friends are getting ready to go away to college. Some are staying here and going to college, and they all got together every day for the press conferences. So they watched he left here after the first part and watched the second part with his friends from Microsoft. He watched the Sony one with his friends. He watched the Ubisoft one with his friends, and they watched the Bethesda one together. Yep. So which I thought was kind of cool. And so I liked the Microsoft one because I liked the way they did it. I liked the reveals. I thought it was one of the strongest of all of them for me.
So my issue with Microsoft was that they and of course I didn't see it live, so I can't comment on the flow or anything like that. But it seemed like they were conflating exclusive content with just world premiere trailers. That's something that's going to be on their system. So I think there was a lot of confusion as to, Well, is this going to be on other systems, or is this just going to be an Xbox game? Because
I thought it was fairly clear because they would say, or they would say world premiere, and so they world premiered a Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer. We all know that's going to be
true. Yeah, that's going to be on everything.
So I thought they were clear, but maybe seeing it after the fact, it might have been a little more confusing. But what they did was they didn't really have a lot of talking heads. It was just Xbox exclusive, and they had these little stingers that they would do before each trailer. So Xbox exclusive, and then they would show the trailer, or world premiere stinger, and then they would show that trailer.
Oh, okay.
So the other thing I liked about Xbox was I think that they're doubling down on what I forgot what they call the ability to download games, the $9.99 a month.
Oh, the Game Pass.
Game Pass, yeah, they're doubling down on Game Pass.
They are doubling down on it. So actually, that's something interesting. So they're throwing Crackdown 3 as one of the the games that you're going to get at launch on that service, and that Crackdown 3 doesn't look very good to me.
Horizon 4 looks good, and that's another one that is they're going to have at launch. And so that's what I have tried to figure out the value or point of Game Pass for someone like me, because I just buy the games and I just want to play them. So Amazon had a discount. So for 6 months, you could get Game Pass for $29.99 for 6 months. And I thought, well, that's a pretty good deal. Yeah. So I went ahead and bought it because it will be around the time so that will end in December. Horizon comes out in October, and I always buy Horizon games and then regret it. I'm like, I will not play this game for that.
They're really good. Like I skipped to 3 for some unknown reason because I don't think I just had enough any time to do it. But 2 was fantastic. I love that game.
I know, and they're good, but they come out at a time where other games are coming out that I really want to play. And so I thought, well, this is a good deal for me because it makes the game $30. However, there are about 3 or 4 other independent games that they showed that are coming to Game Pass that looked really, really good. And those I think will be out later in the summer into early fall. So, I mean, I thought, well, if I'm ever going to do it, $29.99 seems the right time for 6 months, the right time to do it to see if it's for me. So we'll see. Never mind that I already have all the other games that they announced.
You can go play Sea of Thieves.
But I already own it.
No.
But yeah, I could still go play it as soon as I get my pirate crew together. You want to be in my pirate crew?
I don't have the game.
Oh, you're the worst pirate ever. Go steal it. You're a pirate.
Pirate the pirate game.
Exactly. Pirate it. That's what they're telling you to do.
Effectively.
Blame them. So, yeah. So I bought Game Pass. So we'll see.
So, one game that I kind of just had no idea that I was going to be so interested in was I forget the entire name, but the Ghost of something. The Sony game that looked a lot like almost like an open world Bushido Blade style. Yeah,
it looked really, really interesting.
And just in terms of graphics, I know it's so many graphics. Like it's beautiful, an absolutely beautiful looking game. Like the lighting was just phenomenal. The colors were crazy, and I love how when they went to the final fight between the two people, how like they started off in a normal platform or a normal area, and then all of a sudden like this flames started shooting up around everybody, and it was just like a gradual, I'm not even sure how that would play out in an actual game. I know it was somewhat staged because they wanted to show the best view of everything, but that game looked great.
Yeah, I didn't know that was that was one of the big 4, right? It was The Last of Us 2, that one, Death Stranding,
Spider-Man.
And that if you had said guess the 4 main games they're going to show, I would not.
JJ says that he'll be on your crew. Just to let you know.
and I know he's played and enjoyed it. I just need to get back into it at some point. And I just, the times I've played, I played for a while. I'm like, okay. Yeah. But I think it's like The Division. The Division is a fun game, but it's a really fun game when you play with friends.
That is true.
So I'm looking forward to The Division 2 and hoping to finally get a group of friends to just play the game with. I think I would enjoy that game with friends and co-op more than I do Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, we're playing. I'm still playing the First Division with 3 other people, like fairly basically on a weekly basis. We get in and just play that game.
Yeah, I think that's great that you have other friends that aren't me playing that game. I think it's great that you asked me to play. I'm sorry, I don't. I have it on which system? Are you playing it on?
PS4.
I don't have it on. That's why you did it.
That's the reason why I did it.
I don't have it on that system.
Now I feel bad.
No, it's no big deal. I don't have any friends other than JJ and I. JJ's my only. It's not a big deal. I'm not upset.
Why are you so angry?
I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm a little angry.
A little sad too.
It's fine. I have been playing so many other things, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a little bit. Well, I say so many. I've been playing 2 other things, but I'm sure we'll talk about that.
I have something I need to talk about too. But so
let's finish press conferences.
Yeah, and we'll go to Bethesda last if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Because I have a role, something that can easily segue into.
Oh, I love that. I love. Right? We've never done that before, so that'll be awesome.
We can actually have some sort of cohesion. Yeah, so Ubisoft started off a little weird.
Yeah, but it always does, doesn't it?
The dancing bear.
Yeah.
I get that out of the way with. And then the guy came in to announce the new Trials game, which I was playing Trials Fusion a little bit because it was a free PSN game. And to be honest with you, man, they kind of missed that mark.
Yeah.
Fusion feels weird. It doesn't feel like the older Trials games.
Yeah, and I think they realized that. I think they struggled with that, and it never took off the way I think they hoped it had. That's why the new one looks fine. It didn't look that much different to me. So
I don't know. I haven't actually seen. I don't know if I saw much gameplay of that one. Just that. Oh, hey, it's coming, right?
I would think that if you have never been a Trials fan, that game, you're not going to go, oh, this is the one that turns me, this is the one that brings me into the fold. So because I watched the trailer and I was like, oh, it looks like Trials.
It should.
Yeah, but I like Trials, and I've played all of them. I've never finished any of them, but I've played all of them, and I'll probably play this one too. But it wasn't changing anything in terms of gameplay, really, as far as I could tell.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No. It's a Trials game, right? So you probably know what you're going to get. Hopefully they get the tone right, which they did not get right with Fusion.
Yeah.
But then they showed off Beyond Good and Evil 2, which is actually a prequel to Beyond Good and Evil, which is interesting.
And I didn't, you know what? At that point, something was going on, and I didn't see that trailer. So I'm not sure. I heard about it later, and it sounded interesting.
It looks really pretty, but they didn't really show it. It wasn't a gameplay. It was all cinematic.
I heard today that we are a long ways away from that game coming out.
Yeah,
it's 2020.
Yeah,
okay. That is a long ways.
Then they showed, they love the Rainbow Six, so they got Rainbow Six Siege stuff coming out, which I downloaded and I tried that on a computer, and that game's not for me. But then they have the Division 2, which we already talked about.
Oh yeah,
I'm way into that. I think DC is a really good setting for that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be really cool to have fights on the what do they call it, the thing in front of the monument.
Yes.
The lawn.
Yes.
Down there.
Okay.
I can't, the mall. That's what it's called. The mall.
Capitol Mall.
Yeah. It'd be cool to shoot some guys down there.
Yeah. Climb the tower.
I don't know if that's going to happen, but
and jump off with a parachute.
JJ, thanks, JJ, the mall.
Yeah.
You knew what I was talking about. No, but one thing I thought that was a little bit weird about Division 2 is that while when you finish the game, when you finish the full game, you can specialize in a certain path of your guy, and they only had 3. And that game right now, you play maximum of 4 people in a squad in the co-op. So it's kind of weird that they don't have 4. I think it would be nice to balance it out. And one of the guys has a crossbow as his like special weapon.
Because you never know when you're going to need it. You got to shoot. What if a grizzly bear comes running through the Capitol Mall?
It's
running, drinking the water, trying to get salmon out of the Capitol Mall reflecting pool, and then sees you and just charges, a la Far Cry 5. And so then you got your crossbow because the other guys have their machine guns. The crossbow is going to win every time. Every time. Oh my gosh, I lost your audio. There we go.
If Norman Reedus shows up, then
yes,
I actually muted it so I could cough and it wouldn't like blow up everyone's ears. So
okay.
Yeah, if Norman Reedus showed us up, that's why it's Norman Reedus fans. That you know what Division 2 we need a crossbow.
If zombies show up, I'm out. They've lost me. Don't bring zombies to Division 2.
There's no zombies. I mean, it's close. I mean, it's really close, and they could totally. Unfortunately, I 100% agree with you that if they bring zombies, it will be terrible. But they are so close to actually doing that because it's all virus based, right?
Yeah. But we got zombies everywhere.
Yeah.
Got what? Days Gone. There's zombies there.
Did they show that?
No.
Oh,
they didn't show it at all. The last time I saw Days Gone, it was in the last issue of Game Informer magazine. It was the cover story, and I haven't seen anything about it since then. So that was weird. Yeah, they didn't. That was not at any press conference, and I never heard anybody talk about it being on the game floor or the show floor. So
maybe they're doing a little reconstruction work.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty much finished.
I thought it was too. I thought it was coming out like soon, but maybe not.
I thought it was this holiday season, which honestly, I think that would be great because it seemed like everything was coming out February, like February 22nd.
Nobody wants to be around Red Dead. That's what the problem is.
So they're all going to come. So what was it? Anthem? There were like 4 big games. And Trials was in there with those other 3 games. It's like, Trials, what are you doing to yourself? But Anthem was coming out on the same day as Trials and the same day as there were 2 other games that were coming out that same day.
Oh yeah, you're right. If you go and look at a release schedule, you'll totally see that for whatever reason they just loaded up the first quarter for some reason. Yeah,
so there's a few big ones in January too, but February is the new November.
Yeah.
So
they moved Christmas apparently, so everybody needs to move the when their games come out.
So we have Christmas in February or Christmas in March, something like that.
It's supposed to be Christmas in July.
Oh, well.
Oh, JG says Metro is also coming out at the same time.
Yes. So
which Metro looks rad. Metro, I got the vibe of Metro, which I don't think I should have. It looked a lot like Stalker to me. Like what a current gen Stalker would be, but I don't think Metro is an open world game. I think it's a linear game. So
I think you're right. I mean, all the Metro games are linear, aren't they? Everyone I've played is.
I haven't played Metro.
All the Metros I've played, they remind me of the same, World at War or any of the Modern Warfare games. I mean, the single player parts. I mean, you are on a track and you're going through and
shooting
some stuff left and right and trying to stay alive. Do you want to talk before we talk about Bethesda? Do you want to talk
Nintendo?
About yeah,
Nintendo and their dumb press conference.
It was better last year. I don't know what happened.
It was hey, we're coming out with Super Smash Brothers. Everybody loves Super Smash Brothers except for me. I I did not care at all about 10 minutes or 15 minutes of going through all these little tiny why would you do that in your primary press conference, to actually take the time to go through and list out changes to specific characters?
Because they had nothing else to show. What else did they have to show?
They could have spent more time on Mario Party.
They knew better.
Tennis is like this week or next
Friday.
week.
No, it's Friday.
This week?
It's this Friday. And I'm interested. I want to see how JJ responds to this one. If he's still listening to us, I am probably not going to get Mario Tennis.
What?
I played the demo and did not have fun.
Oh my god! Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know that the last tennis that they came out with was not very good at all.
Yeah.
But I didn't play that one. But the previous tennis, the Mario Tennis games have always been really good.
It is a fight.
JJ says he's not getting it either.
Yeah, it's a fighting game. It is. It reminds me more of, I barely played tennis. I spent more time worrying about breaks and breaking my racket and trying to build up superpowers to overpower the other player, and did not have fun.
That doesn't sound good.
No, I wish you had tried the demo, because I would have been interested in what you thought. And maybe they'll bring around another demo once the game releases on Friday. It was more of a beta that it was like it was 2 weekends ago.
It was like an online beta test, right?
Yeah, and it was like a competition. And so they set up a bracket and you jumped in to play the bracket, and I just got my clock clean, but I didn't feel like I could do anything. Now, if I had time to learn the game, I might be better. But you know how you can jump into a game like, spit
it out, Todd.
Mario Kart.
Yeah.
And you may not win, but you feel like you could. You feel like if you practiced, you could do this game.
Yeah.
I never felt that way playing Mario Tennis. I thought, I don't think I'll ever learn how to play this game.
But I think to Nintendo's credit, like, a lot of the stuff that they do is balancing it out to make everyone feel like they're having a good time. Right?
Yeah. So why did I not?
You didn't get that. You didn't get that feeling with this game.
No, I think maybe I might get it through single player, but why would I want to play that game just single player?
Yeah,
that's the whole point of that game. I still remember.
My brother-in-law actually just text messaged me. He says to stop hating on Nintendo.
Is he listening to us then?
He is listening to us.
Oh. The thing, what's frustrating is I'm not hating on them, because I'm so excited about using my Switch more. And I just want them to give me opportunity to do that. I've been playing Hollow Knight.
I saw that was out, and I wanted to just grab it because it's fairly inexpensive, and that game is really, really good.
And I'd never played it. Love it. It is so much fun to play. That is, if you don't buy that game, or if you don't have that game already on PC, because that's where it originally came out, right?
Yep.
Yeah. If you don't have it on PC, buy it for Switch, because the controls just seem perfect for that game.
Yeah, that game's really good.
I'm not a big fan of the Square Enix Octopath Traveler gameplay, but I enjoy that game better than I thought I would. And there's a new demo out for it, and I've been playing the new demo, and what you play in the demo will transfer over to the actual game that comes out, I think, July. Yeah. And it's a fun game, even though it's not my thing. And I've also been playing
Fortnite, as JJ has been able to point out.
I did play a little Fortnite. And
on the Switch?
Yes, and it plays really, really well.
Did you use your same account by any chance that you have on your PS4?
No, I used my same account that I have on my Xbox, that I also have on my Macintosh computer, that I also have on my phone. So that account works on the Switch on all those things. Way to go, Sony. So, yeah, I know.
I couldn't believe it. So I couldn't believe it so much that I had to try it myself and say, yep, sure enough, it doesn't work. You can't use your account.
And you know what's nice about being able to use different accounts? When I'm at home, I'm and trying to see if I can actually do well. You know, how far can I go? When I'm playing on the Switch or I'm playing on my phone, all I'm really trying to do is get the achievements.
Yeah.
Just so I move through the season pass. But that allows me to do that. And the Switch is the perfect system to just play around and learn the game and try to get the achievements. It works really well. It plays smoothly. So I've been playing that. I also have been playing the Paladin.
Paladins, whatever.
Yeah, and it plays really well. And it's basically Overwatch if you don't know what it is. If you know, it's a different version, but it's fun.
Free to play Overwatch with stuff
and
you
it
can buy.
Plays pretty well. And Yoku, which Yoku's Island Adventure, I think, is the name of the game, which is a bizarre but fun game. And the reason I got it is because it had a really good art style. I just liked the way it looked. And the premise of the game is it's like a combination of pinball and Metroid and being able to move around this map area and bounce your character around. And the more you collect, the more places you can go in the game. It's really fun. It's probably only a 6 to 8 hour game, but it's only $19 or $19.99, or I think was $17 maybe at one time. But it's really fun, and it's perfect for that system.
Yeah.
So that's another. And the name is terrible. The name of the game is dumb, but yeah, Yoku,
but it's a fun game, so who cares? Right?
But the game itself, the gameplay is really, really fun. So if you're sitting around this summer and you're like, man, I have nothing to play, that would be a fun one to just jump into, and it would get you through probably a couple weeks of the summer. So it reminds me of the games that used to come, the games of summer type things that Xbox used to do. And
yeah,
it's like that. It's like a perfect summer game.
I miss that. I miss the games of summer, or what I forget the names that they specifically called it, but they had some promotion every year that would, it would be like 4 Xbox Live games or whatever, right?
And even PlayStation did it too, and they really haven't done anything like that. I think a few years ago, I think Helldivers was one of the games, their games of summer, whatever they were calling it. And those indie games, I think summer is the best time to play those kinds of games, and the Switch is the best system to play those indie types of games, because you can take it with you, and it seems to me that system is built for those games. And I'm seeing some come out, but I'm also starting to see a lot of the shovelware crap is starting to show up.
Yeah, I'm worried about that.
Store.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I think it devalues the system. If they're good independent games, I think that's awesome. But if it's just crap that people are porting over, then I'm disappointed.
So what you're saying is that Steam is awful now.
Well, it's turning into that because it's not easy to sift through the games to see. So you can you can look through and see new releases. You can look through alphabetically, but there's really no way to tell if there are demos for games. You almost have to go into each game in the store, in the Nintendo store, to see if there's a demo for the game, and it will show you in the corner, but it's not even clear. So there's no good way to figure out which games you could try out and see, and unless they're promoting the game, like Octopath Traveler.
Right.
And so I'm afraid that the more stuff that gets in that store, the more bloated it's going to get, and the harder it's going to be to find something that is good. The good stuff's going to have trouble just rising to the surface unless Nintendo...
you're gonna have to just rely on, unfortunately, like the big outlets, right?
Yeah.
To point out the good stuff to you. And I think that's I've been trying to make this point to a number of people that you know, like places like Polygon, places like IGN, they really have this platform that they really should use for something more than just promoting the stuff that everybody is already talking about. They really need to really get in there and actually help find the stuff, find that diamond in the rough. You know, even if they only have like one person reviewing like indie games or something, just have somebody that'll go into Steam's, you know, weird conglomeration of everything and just download 5 things that look somewhat interesting to them and play them, right?
Yeah.
I think provide just like a paragraph summary of, hey, this is what I thought of the game or something.
I think music sites have done a good job of that. I mean, they usually have Pitchfork, for instance, has people that are they're dedicated to finding new independent music or different independent hip hop artists or things like that. So I don't understand why they can't do something similar with games. I mean, the best place to find anything about Nintendo games is not IGN, it's not Kotaku, it's Nintendo Life. NintendoLife.com, I think, does the best job of focusing on new Switch games and reviewing Switch games, and news about Switch games. So that's where I tend to go if I want to find out more. And you, and
me, of course, because I know everything. Yes.
Your Nintendo tweets. Your Wednesday Nintendo. If you could do every Wednesday, just do what your Wednesday Nintendo tweets. I know it's not really you. I was hoping you would start doing it though.
Well, JJ's over here saying that somebody should start a website like I just described.
Yes.
But guess what? I don't have time for that.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing that stinks, is if we were independently wealthy, we could do that website. So
correct.
And I would.
Right, so enough about Nintendo. Nintendo's fine, I guess. They're coming out with games. One thing that it would be nice is if they showed like the Metroid 4 or whatever, but
yeah,
they didn't bother showing that.
No.
So moving on a little bit to Bethesda. So Andrew WK came out and played some stuff. So that was
it was bizarre. And the audience, I think, thought it was bizarre. I liked that when they cut to the guy with his headphones on. They cut to a guy with his Bose noise canceling headphones on and he was like sitting like this. I don't know what this is. Not sure about this, Andrew WK, man. So yeah, that was.
And he didn't even. So he even changed the song that he was playing. It wasn't the original version. He changed. It's "Are You Ready to Die?" I think is one of the
really?
songs or the lyrics over and over, and they changed it. I think "Are You Ready to Rage?" Which it doesn't have the same punch to it.
No, and that's funny because I thought because of the lyrics that he wrote that specifically for Rage 2.
No, that was not an original for Rage 2 song.
Okay.
That was one of his songs from I think I Get Wet, I think is the name of the album. And yeah, he looked a little funny. I saw some people tweeting about how they saw him in the bar afterwards, and he looked like he was surprised that he wasn't being mobbed by fans.
Oh, sorry, Andrew.
I like that album. I still listen to it every once in a while, but he's like a B-lister, maybe a C-lister.
Interesting, and that was an interesting choice to bring him on to.
Well, he's a character. He's a character in Rage 2.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
he voices one of the characters,
but
and
they tell you that they just brought Andrew WK on, and they did that conference, that press conference. Bethesda did that a lot, where they didn't tell you why they were doing things, and they just did them. And so you're trying to figure out. Hang on a second. Hi. Oh, hi. Sorry. Okay. Wife's home.
Hey,
yeah,
good to hear you.
So they didn't tell you why they were doing that. I'm sure we'll talk about it in a second, but the Amazon Alexa thing. Yeah. Oh my gosh,
that's a real thing.
I know it is, but they didn't tell you.
You can actually download that for Alexa.
Yeah, they didn't tell
Skyrim on Alexa.
And so all of a sudden they were talking about it, and you're like, what is happening? And then I didn't find out it was real until the next day.
I don't think anybody realized that it was real until the next day. They're like, oh my God, this is the thing. They actually did this.
Yeah, just little things like that where they didn't fill you in, which was so counter to the Todd Howard part where he did fill you in.
Oh, he went in depth in filling you in.
And that was the way. And I read a few tweets that said that was saying that other press conferences, other game developers should take note. This is how you explain what you're doing with a 11 changes. If you're going to do something a little different, this is how you do it. Go into depth, go into detail. And I thought he handled that really, really well. By the time he was finished, I was interested in that game.
I wasn't planning on being interested in a multiplayer Fallout game, to be honest with you. But the fact that they're able to apparently not have, I think the quote was something like, "We want dozens, not hundreds of people in our games."
Yeah,
was something that really kind of resonated because. Yeah, he's absolutely right. You don't want to go into a Fallout game and have tons and tons of people all over the place. That's not Fallout. That's not a Fallout game. So if you go into a city and see like, oh, there's a dozen people here, I guess that makes sense. That's fine.
So I'm intrigued. I am impressed by when the game's release date is.
Yeah, I didn't even think it was going to be this year, but that's pretty good.
So I'll get it. I mean, Fallout games for me, I always play a fair amount of them. I don't always finish them, but I play enough that I feel like I got my money's worth, and I'm sure I'll do the same with this one. So I like that press conference. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, there was one dude. He was like a Swedish developer, and he was about 7 feet tall. That seemed. I forget what he was promoting, unfortunately, but unfortunately, it seems all that he was just like, hey, I don't remember if I'm supposed to be talking right now. And I felt bad for that guy. Like,
yeah, there were a few weird things, but when you're doing a press conference like that, there are going to be some.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Speaking in front of people, it's hard. And then like having the realization that, oh my God, like probably hundreds of thousands of people are probably watching this online and, oh, well, they'll probably watch it again later. Oh my God. Like,
yeah. And I know Todd Howard has done it for years, but man, he's a good speaker.
He is. He's really good.
Very, very good in that setting. Better than some of the stilted Sony Sony developers and CEOs. They struggle on that stage. Yeah. When I see an Apple press conference, the same with some of those guys, especially when the way they dress sometimes. It's like, I know you're trying to be hip, but that is not the option I would have chosen. So,
a t-shirt with the sport coat.
Yeah. Untucked. No, that doesn't work.
So anyway, one other game that they brought up in the Bethesda thing was Prey. And they were talking about all these DLC stuff that you get for Prey. That one of them is a free piece that's a New Game Plus, and they have a survival mode for Prey. And then there was another one that was called Moon.
Yeah.
Moon Crash or Moon something. And you have to pay for that one, but that one sounded really interesting to me.
It made me go buy a copy of Prey.
I bought a copy of Prey.
Yeah, but we bought
a copy. I bought a copy.
We bought it for different systems.
Well, I bought it for PS4.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I bought it for Xbox.
So what I wanted to say was that game that made me want to go play Prey.
Yeah.
And then I popped it in, and wow, Prey's a really good game.
Well, see, before the press conference, and JJ, if he's still listening, he's probably losing his mind right now because he was talking about how much he enjoyed the game
he just said, I just played Prey, so fantastic.
So he was talking about how much he enjoyed it on Twitter, and he was posting some screenshots, and I thought, that game is good. And so then I started looking into it before E3 and before the Bethesda press conference, and I found on Redbox you could go buy the game on or from Redbox. They have Red boxes out there on the East Coast.
Yes, they have Redbox.
Okay, you could buy the game from Redbox for $9.99 if you wanted to. If you didn't want to go somewhere else and pay, $19.99 or $15.99 or whatever. Yep. So you could just buy it straight from there. And so I was getting ready to buy it, and then I saw that the press conference, and so I was like, oh man, I better go pick my copy up because I bet other people are going to be interested in picking it up again too. So had you played it before? I played the there was a demo, right? I did play it, but I think I just played a demo because I never owned the game.
I
So
don't know if there might have been a demo.
there has to have been because I played the game. I played part of it, but I never owned it. So, and I think the reason I didn't get it was there was something else that came out around the same time or fairly soon after, and it was difficult. I mean,
It's a tough. It is definitely a tough game to get into.
It's one of those muscle memory games.
Yeah, I had issues for quite a while, with the controls, and because there's these things, the mimics that are around, right? And one of the things, a good strategy is you get this glue gun and you shoot them with glue, and then you go over and you whack them with a wrench instead of just like trying to strafe around, because your dude is not a fighter. He's not very good.
Yeah.
So, but if you freeze them and it gives you enough time to go over and destroy them that way, it's good too. But yeah, it was definitely tough to get into at first. But then as soon as I started getting the flow of the combat and how things were really supposed to work, man, I am really enjoying Prey so far.
That's one of those games where if you give it time, and you dedicate some time to learning the mechanics of the game, then you will be satisfied. God of War for me was that way. I mean, once I started to get the flow of the game, the mechanics, all the Batman games were that way for me. Once I got the flow of the combat, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a fun game.
Yeah.
But also, all of the games I just mentioned, if you get 3 weeks away from them and play something else, they're a nightmare to come back to. Try to jump back into the control system, and
you lose it.
Yeah, and Batman was definitely that way. I tried to come back to Batman a few times. The first time, I think I finished the first one, and the second one I got about halfway through, started playing something else, came back to it, could not get back into it, and I didn't want to start it over. So, and I think Prey would be that way too. So it's one of those games where once you start it, you either keep going, keep playing it, or plan on starting over if you decide to start over 6 months down the road.
Yeah, I've right now I'm in this little thing where you can carry around turrets. They have like a deployable turret, and I've been picking it up and undeploying it and carrying it around with me and then setting it down and putting it in corners of the room to watch my back, basically. So these mimics, if they pop up, the turret's just there to help take them down. It's just, I don't know, the environment's great. Like the whole intro was wonderful. I really loved how they introduced you to that world. I'm gonna totally keep playing that game. I kind of feel like I want to go play it right now instead of talking to you.
Oh, well, isn't that that's usually the way it is. If you want to do whatever it is, other than talk to me. Sometimes one night.
JJ thinks that Prey came out around Horizon and Zelda time frame. So that would totally make sense that you'd miss this game.
Yeah, because I jumped into Horizon and that was my game of the year last year. So and I just finished my so far my game of the year for this year, which is God of War. I finally finished it. I'm telling you, everybody should play that game.
I have it.
You should play it.
I haven't played it yet.
You need to play it. You better play it before.
I think I'll play Prey.
All right.
Finish that at least by October, and then
you finish Prey by July, the end of July, and then that gives you the second half of the summer to finish God of War.
And then I got to play that Red Dead Redemption game. When that game comes out, I need to play that.
Well, sure, but God of War will take you to that game, and I'm telling you, it is a great. The dialogue is good. JJ, I know he knows this too because he's been playing it. But the dialogue is good. The story is good. The backtracking. There are things that you can't do when you first start the game that you gain powers to be able to do later. Yeah. But I knew that was going to happen. But I thought I'll never come back to this place. But you go organically, you go back through some of those places. So it's not like they even force you that direction. You just find yourself in some of those places where you originally had been. And you're like, oh, well, now I can do this. And you can open up a treasure chest that you couldn't open up before. But the story is so good. It's one of the few games in a long time.
I like hearing that, because God of War games really haven't really been known for their stories. It's just the brutal violence, and killing gods.
No, it's an excellent story. And I mean, compared to, I just finished that, and I went back in and I'm trying to finish Far Cry 5. It's the easiest thing I think I've ever played. But I like it, and I like Far Cry games, but I skip the story. I skip right through all the storyline.
You don't even bother listening to it at all. You just go.
For the side quests, I never listen. For the main quest, there are certain parts I'll listen to, especially when you get to the point where you're fighting main bosses. But by and large, no. It's disposable. But the God of War story and the characters are not. The characters are so interesting. There's a character, I won't give it away, but there's a character that kind of tags along with you the second half of the game. But the way that he tags along with you is very interesting. And the character and the things that he talks about are interesting. So, and trying to figure out, how Kratos, his relationship with his son, how that came to be, why is it strained? How well do they really know each other? What's the backstory for the little boy? Where the game starts up is interesting. So it's
hopefully they answer all those questions, Todd, because now they need to.
Well, they do. I think I felt satisfied by the end of the game.
Good.
And I'm not giving anything away when I say you need to play the game all the way through to the end. There's some, like a lot of movies nowadays, there are things that happen after the credits, and like a lot of games, there are things that happen after the credits. So you need to continue to play the game to see those things as well. And they're good surprises. So there's some good twists and turns in there.
The old Uncharted 4 post-credit scene.
Yes, which I really like that scene, and it's similar to that a little bit, but it's not quite as long. I mean, the payoff comes a lot more quickly.
Yeah, that took a little while to get through, but I really enjoyed how they did the follow up there,
and I loved how that game ended, and that was one of my favorite final games in a franchise. So I enjoyed that, but. I will go back. I haven't completely finished everything. I finished the game proper in God of War, but I haven't finished all the side missions. But I'm going to go back and do some of those because I enjoyed it so much.
Wow! All right.
I never did that in a God of War game, so I'm telling you, it's a great story.
Cool. I will check it out after Prey, which JJ says is only 20 to 25 hours. Which actually, that sounds like a really long game to me.
Yeah, then you'll finish that sometime in November. The snow will be falling.
But anyway, so do you have anything else you want to talk about? We're at about an hour right now.
I enjoyed E3. I think the Cyberpunk game, is that the name of it?
It is.
The Project Red game.
Yep.
I'm really excited about because I know it's nothing like The Witcher, but one of my all-time favorite games, Witcher 3, is. I mean, that's one of the few games I've played over 70 hours of that game. That's insane for me. I barely get.
I really need to give Witcher a chance because I have not given Witcher a chance.
If I played it that long, then come on. I never play anything that long.
The thing that always got me was whenever they tried to introduce combat to me, it was very much it's kind of clunky.
It got better. And it got, as you learn the combat, that's another one of those games where you learn the systems, and it was just satisfying.
Hold on, there's a spider. Spider.
Good. But I like the Project Red game. I liked Spider-Man. I'm excited about.
Spider-Man looks good.
Yeah, I may be the only one, but I'm excited about Tomb Raider because I liked the other two.
The other two Tomb Raiders are really good too.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one.
No Final Fantasy VII.
No, although I did read an article today that said that it is further along than people realize. So
then show it. Then show it at E3.
Right. Hey, you're preaching to the choir, man.
Come on.
Did it like you're telling me to. If I had the game, I would show it to you. So there.
I'm probably not going to touch Kingdom Hearts. I haven't touched Kingdom Hearts up until now.
I told you that I pre-ordered that 4 years ago, right?
Yes, you did.
The $40. I'm finally gonna get it, baby. It only took almost 5 years.
I probably should. My kids absolutely adore Disney, so I think it would be cool to play a game where all these characters just pop up and you do. I assume that you have like missions for all these characters and stuff, right?
It's a hub worlds, and you go to these different hub worlds, and you fight alongside of the Disney characters, and they help you. And
that sounds fun, but that's probably another like 100-hour game, right?
No, well, the others weren't that long. I'd say maybe 30.
They're not typical JRPGs then?
They're action JRPGs. So it's not like your typical Final Fantasy games. They're more actiony than Final Fantasy 15 was. I'm just hoping that there is a mode for me to take photos and send them to you. Which
by the way, I still have Final Fantasy sitting on my shelf. I still have not played that one either. What is 15? 15.
Yeah. I'll take some more photos and send them your way if you want.
Please.
Yeah, people don't realize before we started doing this show, not last Christmas, but the Christmas before, every day that I played the game, I would take at least one, sometimes two photos to send to Jim of me playing, because the photos are just so bizarre. And they were just so weird that I thought, well, he needs to see these too. I don't think he necessarily appreciated it, but it was my Christmas gift to him that year.
I appreciated it.
Okay.
I appreciate you.
It was either that or a tie. So that's what you got.
Screenshots are good.
Yeah. Okay, good. That's all I know. I enjoyed E3. I always enjoy E3. It's a lot of fun for me. I wish there had been some hardware, something that people announced, but maybe
they kind of did. Microsoft alluded to a new system already.
Well, yeah, but that's 2020 again. So that's
streaming.
I thought they would announce a new controller, and maybe there'll be some other things that come out.
No, they announced that the adaptive controller.
Yeah, and that's pretty incredible. The photos I've seen are amazing, but I thought there was going to be an announcement for a new Elite controller, and there wasn't. There's the PlayStation SCUF controller that's coming out this summer, but that's not that big of a deal. So, I thought there'd be something there. There has been for the last 3 or 4.
Vitality monitor, maybe.
Anything, yeah, something, but there wasn't anything. So, oh well. There are some decent games though coming, and so if we can get through the dry summer, because there is not much coming out this summer, then
I got plenty to play.
Yeah, I
don't need new games right now. I just got to play what I got.
Yeah. If I jump into Prey after I finish with I also have State of Decay 2, but I'm kind of like I'll play that a little bit, but
Yep.
I was hoping for a giant RPG that was actiony. That was coming out sometime in 2018, but I really didn't see anything like that. So,
what about that Octopath? That's your.
It is more of a traditional JRPG, which doesn't always do it for me. I get bored quickly. I know.
Oh, JJ just said Vampire is fun.
Well, yeah.
I bounced off of that so fast, JJ. I thought it was it. I couldn't deal with it. Couldn't do it. What's that?
You had it?
I played it. I played it for about an hour and a half or so, and I was like, I'm good, because it's by the same guys that did Life is Strange. So I was just like, you know what? Really enjoyed Life is Strange. I'm going to go in there, and hopefully this is going to be more similar to that. But they made it into like this pseudo action game. That the combat, like, don't give me the crap. Don't give me crappy combat, please. I can't.
Yeah,
Can't do it.
it just looked okay to me. I wasn't sold on it. If it drops in price, I might pick it up, but
Yeah,
right now,
JJ says it's taken him a few hours to actually get into it, and I think that's where unfortunately where I am right now is that I don't want to take a few hours to get into a game.
yeah,
With Prey, it wasn't a few hours. It was me fumbling with controls for probably a good half hour before I figured it out. But I don't want to spend a couple hours trying to. And that game, so I was playing it on the PC too. And that game is totally made for a controller. It's not made for mouse and keyboard.
well, I'll find something else. Put my hands up on that one. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
So I'll keep looking. I'm sure by the next time when we do our next show, I'm assuming it will be sometime this summer, not September.
Maybe winter.
Okay. I'm hoping before then. I will be able to talk about maybe because I should be finished with Far Cry 5 by then, and the jankiness of that, and then I can move on to something else. So probably Prey.
Yeah. I hope to go through Prey a little bit quicker because there's been very few games that I've actually really wanted to sit down and play.
Mm-hmm.
And Prey feels like one of those games. So
that's cool. Okay, good. Between you and JJ giving it positive reviews, I'm going to jump into it and try it.
And then hopefully, if I like that enough, I'll download that Moon Crash thing.
Yeah, I may too. So we'll see. But that's all I know.
All right, man. Me too.
So, but we'll do a show faster than the last time.
Yeah. So 2 months went by.
Yeah.
Stuff happened. So
sometime in July, maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Celebrate our nation's birthday.
Definitely celebrate the nation's birthday.
All right.
Nobody else is gonna.
No, we got to do it, and we'll do it on our show, the 4th of July show. It doesn't have to be on the 4th of July.
It'll be like the 22nd or something.
Of July show. That's perfect. That's when I celebrate our nation's birthday. I like to do it after everyone else because I like it to last an entire month.
Sparklers.
Yeah. In the house.
Yes, of course.
When you light
especially around all these books that are behind me.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, I want that one right under the tag sale sign. So if you could, that's
not a book.
I've been looking for that one.
It's a Hello Kitty.
Oh,
pop-up game.
That's what I've been looking for. Finally.
This is like leftovers from the tag sale that we had, unfortunately. And we actually sold quite a bit of stuff in our tag sale, but this is a lot of stuff still left. So
it happens.
So anyway, thanks Todd for joining me. Thanks JJ for tuning in, and my brother-in-law, who I don't know if he's still listening or not, but we'll talk to you. We'll talk to you soon, and hopefully we won't hate on Nintendo as much next time.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. See you, man.
All right. Talk to you.